Hey, welcome to Rygaard Creation. In this video, I will show you how to customize the font type and the interface colors in 3DCoat, okay? Great! To do this, I will go to the Edit menu and click on Preference. In this 3DCoat Preference window, there are several tabs with several specific settings for the program. But the settings that I need are right here in the Theme tab. So I'm going to start the customization of the interface by modifying the type of font that is used in 3DCoat. To do this is very easy. I will click on this button, choose the UI font, and in the window that appears, we will be able to completely change the appearance of the fonts. That's right. We are going to be able to do interesting things in here. For example, I can change the font type to Korean New. Also, change the font style to bold italic. Set another font size. In this case, I will decrease the size to 8. And even add those strike out and underline effects. So, all that's left to do is click the OK button. Right now, 3DCoat, as you can see here, is processing the changes I made. And as you can see, now we have this amazing and unique interface, right? Right. But I think I exaggerated just a little. And if you think I was crazy with this interface, I agree too. I will go back to the preference. And now I have the opportunity to introduce to you this button here. Restore default fonts. This command will simply save us from any craziness we may have done regarding the font's appearance on the interface, okay? I will click on the Restore Default Fonts button, and as you can see, 3DCoat returned to the default appearance used by the program, right? Right. For now, I will leave it that way, with 3DCoat's default style font, so I can continue with the explanations. But feel free to choose the type of font and styles you want, okay? Great. I will go back in the preferences. And the next settings are user font extra line distance and user font extra vertical shift down. These two settings will help us directly to improve the spacing between the interface elements, okay? The user font extra line distance setting is for controlling the spacing between lines in the user interface. This means that we can set positive values to add more space between the lines in the interface. For example, I'm going to set the value here to 4 and click the Apply button. The result is this appearance with more space between the elements in the interface. And we can also set negative values to decrease the space between the lines of the interface. This time, for example, I'm going to change the value to -4. And click the Apply button again. The result, as you can see, is this appearance with less space between elements in the interface in 3DCoat, okay? I will return to the value 0, so I can show the other configuration, okay? Now, the next setting is the user font extra vertical shift down. That gives us the possibility to vertically shift the font a little bit down when you use positive values, and shift the font a little bit up when we use negative values. For example, when I set a positive value equal to 5 and click the Apply button, the result is a vertical downward shift of the fonts in the interface. And this time, when I set a negative value -5 and click the Apply button, the result is a vertical upward shift of the fonts in the 3DCoat interface, okay? I will go back to the value 0. Great. In this case, I will leave the default values of 3DCoat to continue with the explanations of this video and for the next ones. But if you need to improve the spacing in the interface, then set the values of these two settings, okay? This setting, font size, is used to define the font size in the interface. This means that we have the possibility to quickly choose and set some pre-configured options that exist inside this list. Instead of setting the interface font size through the Choose the UI Font button, okay? Great. Finally, it's time for how to change the colors and create our own theme within 3DCoat. 3DCoat gives us all these options to change the colors of the user interface. These options may seem obvious to many people, so you could try change the colors and observe the result on the interface. But since I like to help, I will identify the parts of the user interface that are related to these options, okay? Before I continue, I would like to suggest to you that before any changes are made to the interface, save this current default 3DCoat theme. Because for some reason, if you want to go back to the default look and feel of the program quickly and easily, you can, okay? Great. To save an interface theme is very easy. We'll click on the Save Theme button, and in this window, we just need to choose a location on the computer to save the theme. The saved file will have the extension .options.xml. So, I'm going to save it here on top of this file, 3DCoat default options.xml. And I will accept that it saves over this theme. Great. Now, how do you load a new theme into 3DCoat? This is also very easy. To open a new theme in 3DCoat, we just have to click on this button here, Load. And once again, in this window, we need to locate the theme file with extension.options.xml on the computer. In my case, I'm already in the correct folder. So I'm going to select any of these themes, which I had done before, and I'm going to click on the open button to open it. And as you can see, I completely changed the interface colors, right? Right. I'm going to click the load button to show you another example theme. This time, I'm going to choose this one. And now, I have as a result this other look in the interface. How about another example? And now, I've changed the look in the interface again, right? Right. But I need to go back to the default 3D-Coat look. Great. I was thinking of just identifying the parts of the interface for you. But maybe it's better to show you creating a new theme from scratch, right? Right. What I like to do is the following. First, do an internet search to find an interesting looking image that will serve as the basis for the visual creation of the theme. It could be images from movies, games, magazines, or book covers, or anything else. The goal is to have a color palette for the image to help you in the visual process of creating the theme, okay? After finding and saving the image, I go to this color palette panel. But in case you don't have this panel in your interface, then click on the Windows menu, go to the panel's submenu, and right here we have access to the color palette panel, okay? In the header of the color palette panel, we will find this button that has a three-dot icon. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to choose the image option. The next step is to click on this button. The second to last one, from left to right. To open the image I found and saved from the internet. But I have already advanced this process and loaded the image. So I could select it from within this list, okay? Good. Now I'm going to take the panel, make it float, and also resize it. To start the process of creating the theme, I go to the Edit menu, click on Preferences, and come back here at the Theme tab. I will find again the interface color options, okay? We have two ways to define the colors. The first way is to click on this color button and then in this window choose the color you want. The second way would be the same process. Clicking on the color button and then Instead of picking a color from this color picker, we can click anywhere in the interface and 3D Coat will pick the exact color from where the mouse cursor is. So, for the reason that I have chosen this image as my color palette, the way that I will define all the colors in the interface will be exactly through this second way by clicking anywhere in the interface, okay? Great. I will start the process with interface color, which is the overall base color of the interface. This option defines the colors for all 3D Coats panels and windows. An important thing to say is that after choosing the color and clicking on the OK button, most of the time we will need to click on the Apply button so that the changes can be applied and shown correctly in the interface, okay? But I will select another color here. This one is fine. Click the OK button and once again press the Apply button. Great. Next is the headers color, which defines the color of the headers of all floating windows. For example, I will select here the color, this color here, dark brown. I click the OK button. And as you can see, I have here the header in brown color. And I'm going to take advantage of this and click the Apply button. Great. The next option is the tool delimiter header color, which sets the background color of the header sections in the left panel of the interface, which is exactly this panel of the tools, brushes, or commands. Okay, so I will come here and select this color here. Click the OK button and press the Apply button. As you can see, I changed the background of the section header, but as you can see, it's a bit of trial and error until I find the right color. Okay? Now, I will fix the color palette panel better. Because in my case, it's blocking the view of the interface elements that I need to see in order to configure them, okay? So quickly here, I resize it and position it here in a better position in the interface. That's it. I'll go back to the settings. The next option will be text and white icons color. This option sets the general color of the text in the interface and also the color of all the icons and the navigation controls of the buttons in the interface, okay? So, again, from my reference image, I will click and select a color here. For example, this one. I will click on the OK button and then the Apply button to be able to apply that color to the entire interface, okay? Now, for you can see the next option, I'm going to click the OK button. Create a new layer in the sculpt tree and I will select the primitives tool. I return to the settings And now I can show you the next option, which is Mesh Preview Color. This option sets the exact color of the mesh preview. When you use the primitives tool and also the import tool, okay? So I'm going to select a color here. It can be this blue. Click the OK button and the apply button. Great. That's it. I will come back here in the settings after I have fixed what I need. Great. The next three options are related to the list menus and numerical fields in the 3DCoat interface. The Edit Area Color option defines the background color of the list menus and also of the numerical fields of the interface. I will select a color here. For example, this dark brown one. Click the OK button and the Apply button. Great. The next option is Edit Area Border Color, which sets the border color of the list menus and also the numerical fields. This time I will select this color. Click the OK button and the Apply button. The next option is Edit Area Highlight Color, which will change the background color of the list menus and numeric fields to highlight them when the mouse cursor is over them in the interface. Okay. For example, I'm going to select a color here, this blue here. Click the OK button, apply, and for you can see when I am on top of the 3DCoat list menu, as well as in the numeric fields, it will change the color, okay? Excellent. I will go back in preferences. The next options are related to the tabs of the panels in the 3DCoat interface, okay? The Active Tab Color option that defines the color of the active tab of the panel in the interface. As you can see, so I will select this color here, this blue, and click on the OK button. I'm going to press the apply button so I can apply my changes here on the interface. And the next option is passive tab color. This option sets the color of the tab that's not active from the panel in the interface, okay? So I will select another color here on the panel, like for example, this green, and click the OK button and then the apply button. Great. The tab background color option would be for setting the background color of the tab, but at the moment, for some reason, this option is not working for me. But if you know anything about it, please comment here below, okay? Great. For the next option, Active Tab Font Color, I'm going to select the color dark blue. Click the OK button, the Apply button, and the OK button. Now, I can show you exactly where all the changes happened. First, the colors of the tab texts in the active panels have changed, as well as the buttons icons that appear when the mouse cursor is over the layer in the sculpt tree and in the layers panel. Also changed the colors of the text in the menu at the top of the interface when the mouse cursor is on top of the menu, okay? And also changed the text in the active tab of the regular and control action buttons in the tools options panel of the brushes. Great. I'm going back to the preferences. The header's font color option sets the font color in the headers of the floating windows. So I will select this color here. Click on the OK button, and as you can see, the window header color was automatically changed. But I will change it to this blue one here. Okay, I will apply it by pressing the apply button. And as you can also see, I've also changed the color of the section text here on the left panel of the interface, okay? The next three options are related to the buttons in the 3DCoat interface. The button color option sets the color of the buttons on the interface. As you can see, I will select a dark color. Click the OK button and the Apply button. Great! The next option is the Pressed button color. This option changes the color of the button as soon as it is clicked. So I will choose a lighter color and click the OK button. The next option is mouse over button color, which changes the color of the interface button when the mouse cursor is over it. So I will select this color here. As you can see, when I put my mouse over the button, the color changes. Also, when I click on the apply button, it will automatically change the color of the button quickly. Great! For the next highlight color option, I will select a color here. Click the OK button, apply it, and click the OK button. Now, I will be able to show you all the places that have been changed in the interface. As you can see, the highlight color of the selected layers in the Scoop Tree panel, Layers panel, and the Curves Tree panel has changed. If there was a layer here, okay? Also, the highlight color of the tools, brushes, or commands selected in the left panel of the interface has changed. Inside the top menu, when the cursor is over the commands, the background color will change to highlight them. Within the list menu, it will also change the background color when the cursor is over the options, and also change the highlight color for selected elements within the panel, okay? Great. I'm going back to the preferences. For the next option, highlighted button font color, I will choose the color this blue. Click the OK button, on the Apply button, and the OK button. And as you can see, it changed the highlighted text color for the selected buttons within the sculpt tree, layers panels, and if you had a layer here, it would also change, okay? It also changed the highlight text color for the selected buttons within the left panel of the interface, as well as in other panels, okay? And in the left panel of the tools, when the mouse cursor is over a tool, brush, or command, the color of the button's text will also change. Great. Once again, I will go back to the settings. The next two settings are related to the hint balloon that appears in the interface like this. Okay? So, for the hint background option, it sets the background color of the hint balloon that will appear when the mouse cursor is over some feature. So, I will choose this color here. Click on the Apply button, and now, when I place the cursor over some feature, you can notice that the background of the tip balloon has changed to a dark green color. Now, for the hint text color option, that sets the background color of the hint balloon text that also appears when the mouse cursor is on top of some feature. So I am going to select a light color, like for example this green one here. I'm going to click the OK button, the Apply button, and now, as you can see, I have a light green text in the hint balloon, okay? Great. The next option is Start Menu Highlight Color. So, you can see what this option is all about here. I will click the OK button. I go to the Windows menu, Panels, and click on the Start Menu panel. When I put the mouse cursor over any command, it is highlighted in this orange color. So now I can go back in the preferences. And this option, Start Menu Highlight Color, I can change it to any other color here, like this color here. I will click the OK button, Apply, click the OK button. And one more time for you to check that I changed the highlight color of this start menu, okay? Right. Back to the settings. But I didn't really like this color, so I will put the blue one anyway, just to be cool. That's it. It's great now. The next option is Items Folder Selection Color. This option sets exactly the color of this items folder that is selected in the panel. So I'm going to change here to a color darker, this navy blue. That's fine. Click the OK button and apply. Now, as you can see, I have this folder button. When it's selected, change the color of it, okay? Now, I'm going to change just a few other options here, okay? The first option is top background color. It sets the top background color of this background here in the viewport. And the bottom background color options sets the color of the bottom of the background in the viewport. So they make a gradient in the background. So I'm going to select this color here, darker. Click the OK button. And the bottom background color option, I'll use the same color, but a little bit lighter. Okay? I'm going to press the apply button. And as you can see, I now have in the viewport the green background color. But I'm going to darken these colors even more. Click the OK button. And the same thing I'll do with the bottom background color option. I'll click the apply button. This time I have this background in the viewport. Great. I'll go back in the settings. And I'm going to change now these last two options. For that, I'm going to need to activate this grid. And now, for this last option, grid color, which refers to this color of the interface grid, I'm going to use, for example, this green here. Great. And for this screen grid color option, which would be another type of grid, I'm also going to use a little bit darker green. Not so light, okay? I apply it and press the OK button. Great. To be able to show the other grid option, I'm going to come here in the View menu. And I'm going to check the Show 2D Grid option, which is exactly this grid that we changed, okay? Great. Now, I'm just going to uncheck this grid option. The grids in the interface. And I'm going to dock the panel here again in the color palette interface. I won't need it anymore. Now that I have this theme created, I'm going to save it. To do that, we come again to the settings and click on the Save Theme button. In this window that will appear, I will name this theme, I'll call it Jungle. And I'm going to click the Save button to save this theme. Great. But in this long series of videos about custom ROM creation and advanced settings, I am going to leave this visual appearance of the interface with the default 3DCoat theme, okay? In the future, for sure, I will change the look of the interface and use my own theme. I hope you have learned something new, and as always, I will see you all in the next video. See you there.